Let's go ahead and start just like warming up. Alright. We'll start with our usual like rubber guard warm-ups. So throw this guy out here in front. We'll just kind of lay forward on him. Under 5 seconds. Switch. Once you get going, try and always remember, like, incorporate your breathing a little bit. You want to exhale when you stretch. You want to breathe in between. The breath is what really helps warm you up. Plus the exhale helps you actually stretch into it. Plus, it's really good to just get your body used to that kind of pattern of movement. Like when you're picking it up, you breathe in, and when you're stretching down, when you're extending yourself, you exhale. Like in between a movement, maybe like right before a shot, you would inhale, and then on the shot, you'd exhale. Alright, switch to the other one's pretty much the same, but it's on our back. We go heel, knee, and bring it in. Other side, bring it in. Other side. And you can kind of hold this like rubber guard if you want. And it just helps you kind of bring that in a bit. Alright, last one I like to do. Start out in like a side stretch, side split. Try not to use your hands to balance if you can. That'll let you use your balancing muscles. And then we switch, go forward, it switches into a side split. And then you put this knee down and it goes into a front split on the other side. So this is nice. It gets a front split and a side split on both sides. Plus it kind of gets your hips balancing, gets your legs activated. Just a good warm up for the hips. Once you get a feeling of this little flow, it's good for warming up your hips. Stretch both ways. Yeah, and you can put your hands down if you need to, but if you can get used to not, then that's gonna engage your balancing more, and it's gonna help warm you up better and help build your strength a little better. A lot of your control comes from your breath too, so if you're following that, like your breath is tensing your abdomen's controlling everything. So if you follow your breath, especially on that exhale can pull everything tight, and you're gonna find a lot more balance there. You can kind of find your balance with that exhale, you know? If you're like losing your balance, you exhale and that pulls it all together, you know? Finding your balance, finding where you're at with your breath, not just mentally, but actually physically, because like it pulls things tight because that's your abdomen. Good skill you're used to. Alright, cool. I'm just going to use random people throughout. We're just going to start out with the drill, pretty much start out every time with the class, which is I'm going to come in and take my overhook. I'm I'm gonna have his outside hand as well, like held out. Okay, so when I go for an overhook, I'm coming inside. Grab this overhook. I want to make sure my wrist is pretty much slightly looking at me. That way, this elbow turns up. That's how I actually hold this. If my elbow's turned down, you can pull his elbow out much easier than if my elbow is up. That actually holds the elbow. If he was like actually trying to like limp arm it, then I had to turn my wrist to have this elbow up. Okay, so turn your wrist towards you. You also need to win this side. So if he wins this side, if he grabs my hand, this is going to become his underhook. Okay, it's like kind of a little strategy I can even have. Like if he's coming in for an underhook or an overhook, like let's say whichever arm, yeah, he's coming in for, yeah, so he's coming on that side. If I just win this side now, if I see that, I see him going there, and I win this side, this is going to be my overhook. You know, it's not going to be his underhook. But if he wins this, it'll be, if he wins the inside space, basically, it's going to be his underhook. So that's like an inside space here at the wrist, here at the elbow, here higher at the shoulder. No, I just have to be inside, basically, because that gives me the option to get into the body. It gives me the option to get into the leg. It also gives me the option of distance. I'm the one who gets to manage the distance. So the other arm is just as important in this like configuration here. You know, I can't just have the overhook hope to win, or just have the overhook and let him grab my hand and hope to think this is my overhook still. Okay. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna come in. I'm gonna go for my overhook. I'm gonna raise. Now I'm gonna drop into my guard, and we're gonna get to the knee hug. Okay, so I'm pushing into him. And then let's say he pushes back a little bit. Right, when he pushes back, I put this inside butterfly, same size as my overhook, in. And then I sit back. Both butterflies go in. And we get right here. Okay? So it's like a way to go from standing in the double butterfly guard, our overhook, and yeah, right here into a butterfly guard. Okay? So now I'm going to switch off of this grip right here. I'm going to turn my knee and hug right here. Okay? And we'll just go to right here. Hug the knee, grab on top. If this arm was to come towards me, I might block it out. Right here. Okay? So we're going from standing into our knee hug. Okay? Here, I'm pushing into him. He pushes back a little bit. Butterfly. See how when I drop, I've got to lift with that. I can't pull him down like this. I've got to lift with that. We get here. I turn this knee like this to swivel it out. Okay, so I don't bring this foot back like this. I turn it down and it swivels out and around. Okay, on this side, if he was kind of pretty tall before, so I grabbed his head. But if he was a bit lower, then I might just block out his arm, right? So decide here based off if he's really tall or not, how he's doing this. So right here, I grab his head, I rotated this out, I let go of this overhook, and just hug the knee. Even when it's like right here, like people don't realize how soon you can hug the knee. Even right here, I can hug the knee. Okay, I can go here, I can go here, and this is still like a good knee hug. It's still a good hold on his shoulder. And if he goes any higher with his head, I can still clear, right? So it's okay to hug even when he's this tall. Okay, we're just switching off that overhook for a knee hug. And that's how we now have like high guard, because now we have the knee hug rather than overhook. Okay? So, one more time. I'm gonna come in and grab the outside. On this overhook, to get that, I want to come inside this hand. So move that to the outside. Lift. I'm gonna push into him a bit. You might push it back. Boom, butterfly, butterfly. Turn it down. Go. right here, stay, or you could go here. Don't go all the way to rubber. I mean, you can if you want to get the rep, but it's good to do this one, do this, and then this, because those are the first two steps, really. I like to grab this first before normal. Okay? But mainly you're repping from that overhook to double butterflies, you're getting that swivel, and you're getting the knee hug. Alright? Alright, let's get that partner, try it out. So try to go. Okay, you want to throw it around?
I mean, he just took this underhook with this side, so.
Okay, yeah, no, that's cool. Try to go to your overhook side. Go to your overhook side. Not with that. Not like that, though. I always keep my that's always there. Okay, guys, bring it in. Okay, we're gonna look at now doing it from the underhook. Okay, so that's from the overhook. So now from the underhook. So you wanted to do your overhook on your rubber guard side, right? Because we're switching the overhook for the rubber guard hold. So let's say underhook we want to do on the non-rubber guard side. Okay, so underhook. So overhook was inside out to make space. Underhook is the opposite. So if his hands are here, I want to go over top there to get that underhook. Okay, simple, but it's good to have that in mind because that's how you're actually making the space. That's how you're actually pummeling. Okay, and it's important for me to actually do that rather than just point my hand in there, because if I just point my hand in there, I don't get nearly as much of a bend and a hold on his arm than if I come like this. It just sets up a much better bend and tighter hold on his arm. Okay, so there, we're still going to win this inside space. We're still going to push in on him. Get this reaction on this guy. We're pushing in, right, because that's going to help you feel out that. Okay, now, what happens with the underhook is when we pull, it kind of makes him plant his hand a little bit right here, or at least get it pretty close, and then that gives us a nice setup to go to our overhook. Okay, so basically we get here, and then we switch to the overhook. So I'm here, I go here. Now this hand's going to switch from underhook to inside, and then this elbow's going to push, I'm going to pull, I'm going to do that little switch with my hips again. Here. Okay, elbow pushes, this gets an overhook right here, let me hug them. Okay, back to just that. So we're here, that's underhook, here we made him plant. I'm switching here, this comes inside, I want to elbow push right here, and I want to turn on my hip and pop that out. Okay. This one I actually hit more than the overhook, because it can be like easier to find. Like an underhook can feel pretty tight. They also don't expect as much. I mean, you're sitting on an underhook. So it looks like a lot of movements, but I actually hit this one way more. I like this one a lot. So I'm just gonna. It's really easy to push in on an underhook too. If you push in, get a little drop back in the base. And this now, this is really key to not keep this an underhook. It turns. I go here at the same time. All this happens at the same time. So elbow pushes. This elbow pushing right here helps you get on the side of your hip as well. And then hug your knee. Okay. Keep on trying to get us to facing it. Start here. And right here is really like what I like to think of as the home base for like high guard or rubber guard. Right here, this elbow inside, kind of blocking his arm out. Maybe my elbow is like basically kind of touching my thigh. I'm trying to get my knee through. I'm not trying to leave my leg in here and use it as a butterfly or anything. I'm always trying to pull it to my own chest, get as close to my own chest as I can. I'm always trying to get past his arm. So whether I'm winning that or not, I'm trying to get there. So this elbow's winning the inside. I'm hugging my knee. This is kind of the home base right here. It's not, I don't immediately go to rubber guard. I don't even immediately go to this. Because once we go here, we've already kind of made a decision. And we've already cut off some of our options. You know, if I stay here, I have some different options. I could go here to meat hook. I could, if he kind of turns his head a little too much and I get my knee in the way, I could clear, you know? So we have options right here that I don't have to grab, that if I grab my foot off of, I wouldn't be able to play them, you know? So that's just one of the options is grabbing your foot. So we want to hang out here for a sec, kind of feel out what he's going to give us, okay? So yeah, and then if he comes inside, then that's usually where I turn and go to actual level guard. He comes inside. Okay, so hang out in that knee hug, elbow inside space.
Can I see?
Yeah. Hey, your shoe. So, underhook, pushing up him, making base. Now I'm gonna look for this overhook. I have to come inside. This is really gonna help me here. Boom, push him out. That push really is a big deal there. Get to the other side. Let's see how my everything switched here. And then now I'm gonna use this push again to bring my knees up and to hug my knee. So this is really key. This tension right here. Okay. All right. So let's try that from the underhook. Let's do it. Try to just stay with that in that space right there. I mean that's knee inside, so that's great. But for now,
elbow
inside. Just kind of like that. And I'll kind of turn my hand down a little bit, so that I can be ready to grab his tricep during the one. But I don't usually like actually grab with my hand like here because it's easy for him to swing inside on my fingers. So I just keep blocking his elbows like my back. The hand's kind of easier to get around. Use your elbow more and try and touch it more. This. Now it's harder to see that side. You should have a little bit deeper knee hug that way I can stay on my side of my hip and I can use this push to also stay on the side of my hip. And then I'll push harder here.
Can you sit back like that?
On the outside, really.
Don't put it on. Just hold this front.
Yeah, for now, because you might want to clear his head, you can go knee hook. You're gonna go. I only go rubber guard really when he comes inside with his arms.
Cool. I must have been choking right in that foot.
Try and pull it out.
Pull out.
Hey guys, are you going not right here. This?
Yeah.
Also, you wanna unhook on the non-hook.
No, we're not gonna get under my time.
Around my knee. No. I'm saying like, or just. But how does that good to me? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like without it. How do I hold it? I'll just watch you. No, yeah, no, I know you're right. It feels like it's not. Here? If I don't do this, maybe it is. Maybe it is like. Oh, it's maybe. That makes a long time. That way it keeps where you are right now. Not great though. I think if you can do it as your creating maybe you're supposed to go behind me.
Alright guys, bring it in. Alright, yeah, so that's entering off the feet. It could be the same kind of style if you found overhooks or underhooks from the mat as well, you know. But that's pretty much just entering off your overhooks and your underhooks. You're always swiveling your knee out like that. You're always grabbing it, pulling back, swiveling your knee out, and switching that for the overhook of the knee. There's you this time. So today we're gonna look at like sweeps off rubber guard. Okay, I'm thinking a lot about getting on top for this like next combat jiu-jitsu. So we're gonna look at like what kind of sweeps can we do from this like rubber guard position. Get in here. Okay. So one of the main like nice sweeps to hit, especially from like right here when we're stuck with our butterfly inside, is I already have this butterfly and I basically have an overhook right here, so I got to sweep that I can hit at like any time. Okay, so I could just leave this arm out and I could just use the head, or I could swivel inside this underhook and then it makes it quite a bit more powerful once we have that underhook. But we can also hit it with just the head. Let's say maybe he's kind of pinching off his arm and we don't really have that underhook available. It also kind of off balances him more when he's pinching that arm in. So hitting him with the head is easier. Well, let's say if his arm was really far out, we kind of might need now that underhook to take him over. But some big keys here. I want to aim this knee right there. I want to like aim it right in front of his leg, kind of as a trip. This is a tripping leg right here. So I want to throw it down and aim it to trip. I want to pinch this arm as much as I can so that I can't be making any base with his elbow. And then this butterfly just lifts and we just toss them over. Always think about kind of going more like diagonal than like kind of straight to the side, okay? He's gonna be able to defend more to the straight side a little bit easier, and he's gonna be able to defend a diagonal pull, okay? So yeah, so that's our mechanics right here. We're just here blocking. This could get to a full overhook, or it could just kind of block right here. This has got to be a trip. So if it's like my butt was kind of like more here, just like this. I also, not only would this not trip as well, but I'm not setting myself up in a good way to. I can't even lift my butterfly now. Where I so have to get on this hip to be able to lift this butterfly as well. So when we're here, try and make that hip switch. You're here, you're going to lift this butterfly and pull this leg down to switch your hip and get onto that hip. Now I'm right here, lift this butterfly, make sure I trap this. Right here. Just a nice sweep to 3/4 mount. Okay. Pretty reliable, pretty nice sweep. Anytime we're right here with this butterfly in, and pretty much if we feel like we can get our hips to here, that's what matters. So if he's really encroaching a lot with his knee, and it's pretty tight here, yeah, I don't feel like I could actually make that switch on him, then I probably wouldn't be able to do the sweep. So whereas let's say maybe this knee's it's right in the center, or maybe it's a little bit out even. Yeah, then it's probably a little bit easier for us to drop this down. Actually, when it gets really far out, then that as well. It's kind of hard for us to get over on that. Here though, usually if I have the underhook, I can still hit this one. You know, if you can find that underhook, you can kind of force it in a lot of positions. But that's just something to keep in mind. Is like you're kind of feeling here. We're here, and I'm feeling like, can I switch my hip? So inside, we'll lift right here. You could also like touch your foot slightly to get that down. Sometimes it's lift to get down. Other times it's touch that toe of the mat. Just kind of do like a shrimp motion right there. And then now move out this right here. It's definitely way more powerful if we can find that underhook. It's a lot harder to deny. Okay, so pretty simple one, but yeah, let's just get some reps on that. One more time. It's pretty simple. We'll just be right here. Right here. Let's go ahead and be in your rubber guard and make sure your butterfly's inside. Then you're gonna cycle back inside for the underhook. Gonna touch your toe, the shrimp. Gonna lay that right here as like a trip. Actually cycle your legs like that through too. So if you notice, like I want to cycle. I don't want to just leave this leg here. I want to cycle it through. That's how I'll stand as well. So, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, let's rep that one a bit. You see that one? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I think clearing the head would be
So that way, like, when you turn me, I'm already on this side of you. Oh, yeah.
Sweep will probably be good for you.
So we didn't put this foot down, this is what you're. So you have to do it like 10,000
Maybe my brain can do it without you.
Got that?
You have a shoulder strap, right? Yeah. It's overhook with that, so it's a shoulder strap. So you would be sweeping into that from your shoulder strap too. Yeah, shoulder. Alright guys, bring it in. Okay, so let's do another sweep. Alright, so now we'll just hit like the basic like hip bump sweep. Okay, but I'll just kind of try and break down the main points for it. Okay, so if he starts the posture, okay, I'm gonna use that posture. I gotta follow with that. If he's posturing really hard, and I feel like I'm not gonna be able to like hold him or follow him, and or like keep him down. Now I gotta come up and fall after him. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is this is gonna like switch back to like an overhook. This has gotta drape over the shoulder, and this comes right here. Okay, here, and like right when I start feeling that, like this, start popping this hand up right away. Okay, that's a big key. Right. How fast I can get this other arm up. So we start going. Okay, don't leave it at an elbow either. It's gonna come all the way up. Okay, and right here. Now you see I'm sucking my butterfly inside, and usually we're doing this from full guard, but we can also do it from the butterfly inside. That's fine. Because the other leg doesn't matter that much. The mechanics though, from here, you're draping your arm over top. Okay, not like here. Here you're draping it. You want to be pretty high on the shoulder, not too low. Okay, and this is the same idea here with this leg. It's a trip leg again. Okay, so at the trip leg, and then this leg, I'm just gonna kind of like stand up on, basically. Even if this was out in full guard, and let's say I was here in full guard, I'll show the full guard too as well for this one. But and I would let go with this full guard, and I'd drop it right there, and then this foot would find the base. Okay. So same thing. Either way, we end up here. Okay, so we're here, here. And now I'm just gonna roll them over right here. Stand up. Bump them right over right there.
So your right leg stays in that butterfly?
The right leg stays in the butterfly. Yeah, if it was in the butterfly, it stays there. And if we are doing this in full guard, then it doesn't go back to a butterfly. Here, I'll show the full guard one. Let's say we had our rubber guard or whatever, but we had our leg in full guard. So he starts to posture. I gotta take and let go. I break that guard, and this comes out right here, and this touches the mat. These three are like how you're like standing up, like into it. Right? This is like how you're like coming up and like falling, and then this drape is like kind of your connection hold to like him. You know, so it's all right here. But this, like once you start to turn over, you don't have your knee up here. This has got to suck in right here. It's going to pull in right there to become a trip. So, goes up. Just turn like this and come follow. Okay, as long as his hands don't get on our chest and beat, as long as they don't beat to where they get to our chest, then we're gonna be able to come up. So you're gonna just have to like come up and stay in front of those hands, because then we'll have the space. Whereas if his hands get there, then you kind of push on us, right? But yeah, pretty much you just use this to sit up. You really got to get to this hand. See a lot of people do this. You got to be all the way to this hand. Right here. This is gonna suck down right here. It's like a trip. Right here. Alright.
If you can't get the sweep, he's like super strong there. Is there something to do, or does it usually work?
Yeah, you can't get the sweep, so you should at least get like a reaction out of this guy. So like if we're here and I go, I should get some sort of reaction. So yeah, maybe he pushes back into me. Maybe he pushes back into me, then that gave me his posture again. Because I was only going up because he took his posture away, and now he gave it back to me. So then now I come right back to my rubber guard, and now if he goes up again, maybe this time I'm ready to like clear, you know, rather than having to like give it up. Maybe last time I was behind, so I had to give it up and follow because I was behind. But maybe this is the second time I can just clear on it. Or let's say, so that's like the one he pushes into me. Or let's say I go, but he bases with his hand. That's what happens as well, base with the hand. So then we have different attacks on the hand. I could drop more of that, or I could drop back and try and hit a triangle. Yeah, different attacks. He'll give you his posture, he'll give you his hand, or he'll blow. Alright, let's get some reps on that. Let's do it.
So can you figure that down? Yeah, you get this right here. I'm going to get that here.
Right now.
Tap to my own body. Tap to my own fragile body.
Yeah, just try and have your outside leg as look like you're 15. Try and have your outside leg more.
When you're posting up, you can get their posts better.
It's converse. Yeah. Basically, getting the wing. Yeah. I thought we would do that.
Okay, guys, bring it in. That's our time. Alright, guys, cool. So, yeah, so I was just looking at underhook, overhook, entry, and then a couple sweeps. Always keep in mind the sweeps with rubber guard. I mean, you could just, it's still an over-underhook game. You still have an overhook and an underhook, so you could still just be sweeping that person the whole time. You could just be only sweeping them, right? Another sweep is the omoplata. You have a couple other sweeps as well. You can just build the whole game off the sweeps. And that would probably be the smartest thing, you know? And it doesn't take any flexibility as well. Alright, cool, let's take a picture, let's bring it in, take a picture. That's the box. That's right. Yeah, it might be the smartest thing, really, just to keep thinking about it as an overhook under game. Just keep sweeping people with it. You sweep into a really dominant position, too. Right in the amount.
What are you doing? You either stand or kneel. Pick a line. Michael, get up and back. Alright, we'll have 4 back there, that's fine, that's fine. You know, still up the next one. Jesus, John.
Too many things in my head.
Alright, cool.
Scott.
That is. Nice to meet you. No, it's not. And there's not very many people that I've met with that name. Thank you, Ben. 11 a.m. defensive jiu-jitsu class. We start in about 3 minutes.
defensive jiu-jitsu, that's cool.
Yeah. It's like about it. It's like a lot of that stuff I've been working with, like turtle and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Yeah. It's all
Is that
about.
always the focus, defensive jiu-jitsu then, or?
No.
No,
It's
no,
just like
a
I'm
mix up.
subbing right now, and
Oh,
like
okay,
last
cool.
week, so I previewed this kind of system last week, and
Okay.
decided to do a second class of it
Okay,
this
cool.
week and kind of put it back into that a little bit. It's
Okay.
kind of about like it's a recovery system when regular guard retention is failing you, and so you don't put the points.
Okay,
Right?
cool.
It's all about kind of getting back to standing
Yeah.
or getting back to kind of your trenches
Yeah.
where you know you can't be scored on. You can be tackled.
Right. Nice. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. That was a class. You can rewind, look back through it. Use the teaching parts. I'll check and see if there's some questions during. You can always ask questions during, and I'll get better at answering those. Might even be able to have to where I can pull it off to the side afterwards and just answer the questions. Especially if we can like start including like a super chat feature where people are like paying for super chat questions. And I can answer those afterwards.
I'm holding it in place with my arm.
I'll leave this up on my YouTube channel. Check to see if I can see comments right now. Trying to see if I leave comments. I'm not too sure
No, not here, but.
Yeah, I don't know how to put comments. Alright, there you go.